America, there are approximately 28 million hearing impaired individuals.
Right in the past, everybody see us as dumb people.
Before IGA or ADA was passed into law, there was the Second International Congress meeting of Deaf Education in 1880.
There, the delegates voted to forbid sign language and mandated that deaf children learn to speak and read lips, just as Hearing Society does. And that's what vastly changed the deaf world.
It obliterated the deaf community and drove both hearing and deaf people apart. But in 1960 at Gallaudet University, there was a major study done that proved definitively that sign language was its own language with its own syntax and structure that is completely separate from English. After this, sign language and the deaf community flourished back to the way it was and back on track.
IDEA, or the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, was enacted by Congress in 1975 to ensure that all individuals, regardless of disability, have an equal opportunity to public education. This act has had several amendments and additions throughout the years to keep up with the times, and school districts have adjusted their programs accordingly with these changes.
The Americans with Disabilities Act helped pave the way for easier communication between the hearing and deaf individuals. Passed in 1990, the law was a major turning point for the deaf community in the United States and sought to help those with disabilities by requiring public and private entities to provide accommodations for those who are deaf. The impact was monumental. Employers were no longer allowed to discriminate against those who were deaf.
Before American Disability Act, we've been struggling a lot. Right in the past, everybody see us as dumb people. So what happened is we had to go along with it. But from the past to now, I think we're getting better, and I think everybody would love to learn about learning sign language, how to communicate with them. And I think it's a big awareness to understand how we're going through.
The communication gap between the hearing and non-hearing worlds began to narrow. In America, there are approximately 28 million hearing impaired individuals. Today, there are many organizations to help them socialize with the hearing community. For instance, the World Federation of the Deaf, established in 1951, is an international community that strives for equality, human rights, and respect for all people with a focus on deaf individuals. Also, policy changes and new technologies have brought significant positive changes to the life of deaf and hard of hearing people exist. Other problems they face include social isolation, as most of the time the people around them doesn't know the sign language, which makes communication.
What are your challenges whenever you're interacting with the hearing community?
The biggest challenge is environment.
Okay.
What I mean environment is like, let's say you go to the football game, like A&M game, and you had your friend standing right next to you. And so, being a part of here in person, I would like focus on the game, but sometimes my friend wants to talk to me, so I had to go like put my ear next to their head and hear them what they're saying, because I have to tell them to say, I speak louder, I can't be in the environment. But the challenging is, like I said, I'm hard of hearing. I have an hearing aid and a cochlear implant. My cochlear, I can hear everything. My hearing aid, I can hear one thing. So that's the biggest challenge I ever had. And so I had to keep remembering, I can change the setting, but I can hear everything. So yeah, it's the biggest challenge is to an environment, that one. Two, it's the communication. Communication is very important for me and the biggest challenge. So I had to talk to my professor after class, talk to communicate one-on-one to make sure I'm understanding, if I'm heading in the right direction, and so on. But like if I talk to my friend, I always like to talk to them one-on-one. But sometimes we can have a group. But that one of the biggest challenges is if everybody's talking at the same time. That's when I get anxiety. I can't keep up with everyone what they're saying, so they're so confused.
In order to keep up with IDEA, Texas A&M has provided a program to assist anyone on campus with a disability. Texas A&M University's Disability Resources has a vision statement of a campus community in which students with disabilities are equal members without barriers. Disabilities Resources has many services offered on campus, including academic accommodations, physical accessibility, as well as awareness and outreach.
Do you think you have enough accommodations on campus?
Yes, I did accommodation when I wanted. I did interpreter to come in. And a note, PowerPoint note. So we gave them accommodation of a paper, we let them know what we have. But the disability service, they are in charge of let the teacher or professor know 2 weeks before school starts that that the interpreter will be coming in. So we just let them know.
These services on campus have changed over time as the need for these resources at A&M has changed. For example, in the fall of 2009, Texas A&M University had 765 students registered with disability services. Out of these 765 students, 49 were deaf of hearing and 1 student was deafblind. While in the fall of 2019, there were over 2,500 students registered with disability services, and 88 of those students were deaf of hearing, with 2 students who were deafblind. And as we can see from these numbers, the deaf community on campus has doubled in the last 10 years. And with this increase in our Aggie community, we have had several more resource opportunities on campus, such as more organizations like Deaf Aggies and Friends, as well as additional services in the Student Service Building.
Deaf Aggies and Friends is an on-campus social and educational organization where you get to meet people of all levels in ASL and get to learn about deaf culture. You'll get to meet our fellow Deaf Aggies along with other hearing members that just love the deaf culture. We asked the current members of Deaf Aggies about their experience in Deaf Aggies and Friends and understanding of deaf culture. Here are some results.
To offer ASL to Aggie community, so that way we can be more open and inclusive to members of the deaf community on campus and around campus. And another said hold events on campus to promote the deaf community so more people can learn about it. It's not something you necessarily ask or say, but the one thing we should definitely do is not yell or speak slowly, because it's not only offensive, but it's really rude for the deaf people, because they understand what you're saying. I promise you, they do. It's normally easier for them to read lips when the person's talking normally than when they try to talk slow or they're yelling aggressively. It's a fun group of people, you'll fit in no matter what, plus you get to learn an awesome language while hanging with friends in a relaxed environment, so there's no pressure at all in this community. And another one is to learn about a beautiful culture as well as language. Also, making new friends is an added bonus.
Hi, my name is Gabe, and I don't know what we're doing today.
From what you've heard, I hope you understand that Deaf Aggies and Friends is a welcoming and relaxing environment for anyone to join and learn about deaf language, culture, and history. To learn more about Deaf Aggies, you can go to this website, and I hope to see you next semester at one of our meetings.
I stopped talking.
everyone is to get your fact straight, know about the history. If you want to learn sign language, there's no stopping you. No one's going to stop you. It's for everyone for learning the sign language. It's not just for the deaf people only. It's for everyone.